couple? Right. So Pythagorean theorem is a theorem that is used with right triangles only. Okay? Whenever I have a 90-degree angle triangle, right, I can use a Pythagorean theorem. And so when I have a right angle triangle, it is indicated with a square, so that means it's 90 degrees. Do you guys remember what's the sum of the angles inside a triangle? 180. 180. So if I add all three angles in a triangle, it's equal to 180. Okay? If this is 90 right here, that means I have 90 left for these two. They could be like 60 and 30, 45 and 45. It could be 50 and 40, right? So they could be anything that adds up to 90. Okay? So this angle right here, which is the right angle triangle, is the biggest angle inside the triangle, right? And then everything else are smaller than that, all the other two. So that 90 degree is the biggest angle. When we have a triangle, the biggest angle always have the biggest side across from it, okay? So I'm just going to draw a bigger triangle here. So because this is your greatest angle, right, that means the side that's right opposite from it, that is your biggest side. Okay? Now, if this is your smallest angle, then this is going to be your smallest side. And that's always going to work like that with any triangle. If it's a right angle triangle, or if it's not a right angle triangle, this is going to work. Okay? Now, in a right angle triangle, the biggest side has a special name. Okay? And we call that name hypotenuse. Okay? So that side that's across from the 90 degree is called the hypotenuse. Okay? So always when you're naming your right angle triangle, you're going to start by naming the hypotenuse because you know where it's located. Okay? So what Pythagorean theorem says that in a right angle triangle, the sum, so the addition of the squares of the two legs. So the two legs are the two sides that form the right angle. I'll explain this in a second. Equals the square of the hypotenuse. So, in a right angle triangle, I have the hypotenuse, and I have the two sides or the two legs that form the right angle. Okay? So if you look at the right angle triangle here, this is your hypotenuse, correct? Because that's the one across from the 90 degree. Yes? Then these two sides are the legs because they form the right angle. Okay? So these are your legs, the legs of the triangle, and this is your hypotenuse. So, the sum of the squares. So if I square both legs, so if I raise it to the power of 2, so a squared and b squared, it's going to equal to the square of the hypotenuse, to c squared. So they always call the hypotenuse c, all right? and then the two legs, they call them A and B. So I have A squared plus B squared. So if I add the square of this plus the square of this, it's going to equal to the square of this. So this is where the A squared plus B squared equals C squared comes from. You guys remember that formula? A squared plus B squared equals C squared? Okay, that's called the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So, here's the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Where always C is your hypotenuse. So you need to know two sides, and you're looking for the third in a right angle triangle. Now, what if I know C and I know B? How would my formula change? I know B, so I'm looking for A. So you're going to have to bring the B squared over here and become C squared minus B squared. Okay? So what happened is if I know B and C and I'm looking for A, so I can use this formula, but I have to bring the B squared over to the C squared, okay? Because I'm only looking for the A squared. And the opposite operation of addition is subtraction. Okay, so when I move it over the equal sign, it becomes a subtraction. Okay, now what if I know A and I know C and I'm looking for B? So I'm looking for B. What would it be? What would the formula be? So C squared subtract A squared. Okay, because I'm going to bring the A squared over here. So it's just a matter of knowing which sides do you know and which sides you're looking for. Okay? When we look at examples, it will make more sense. You should have, do you have the booklet? Where is it? Okay, that's good. Okay. All right. So let's look at some examples. So in the triangle below, in the example below, what do I know? What do I have? So I know A and B, and I'm looking for C. What else do I know? It's asking you to solve, so find the unknown values and write round to one decimal place. Okay? So the unknown values are two things. There's two things that I don't know in that triangle. I don't know this angle. I don't know this angle here. And I don't know this side. Do you guys know what this is called?
We have two information here. One is 90 degrees and 31.
Yeah. Do you guys know what that letter is? Theta. Right? This is a Greek letter. Okay. Usually they indicate angles with Greek letters for some reason. Okay. So this, if you see that symbol right here, okay, this is the letter theta, which is I don't know what it. I think it's O probably in English. I don't know. Okay, but that's the name for it. So if I'm solving for theta here, I know two other angles, right? I know angle 90, I know angle 31. How can I find the angle theta?
So 31 plus 90 minus 180.
So you guys are saying things that I have to focus. So one at a time, put your hands up. Yes, yes, Carlos. 180 minus 90 minus 31. Right. So remember that the sum of all three angles inside a triangle is 180. Okay? So all three of them, they're going to have to add up to 180. Right? So I just do 180, take away 90, because I know that this is 90, and take away 31. So what would be my answer? What would be your answer? 59. You got the answer. know two angle, you're looking for the third, that's what you do. Now, how do I find side x? Or let's call it C, because we know that this is the hypotenuse, okay? So I'm just gonna change it to C because I know this is the hypotenuse. So how do I find it? What formula do I use?
A squared
Uh-huh.
plus 5 squared.
So A squared plus B squared
Yes. B squared.
equals C squared. Okay. So I'm using the formula. I would always recommend that you guys write the formula down. Okay, write the actual formula down before you start plugging in information. Okay. So it doesn't matter for the legs. It doesn't matter which one is A, which one is B. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. So let's call this A and this B. Okay. So plug it in. You have 3 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. What's 3 squared? 9. You guys know how to use your calculator to find the answer? You know how to use the square button? So, turn on your calculators or whatever, like, take out your calculators. You have to turn it sideways. Okay, so put 3. And then you should have, like, to the power of 2 somewhere. This one? Yeah. Okay. Calculators, do we know where the square button is? Did you add the minus? Yeah, that's your final answer, right? Okay. 3. Yep. Yep. Okay. So if you don't know where the button is on the calculator, come and see me. So plus 5 squared, that's 25, equals to C squared. Okay. I'm just gonna move up here. So 9 plus 25 is 34. So I have 34 equals C squared. Is that my side length? Well, how do you turn it into decimal? What do you mean by that? So 34 equals C squared, yes? Squared. Yeah. Okay, so, eyes on me please. This right here, the answer, is not equal to your side length. That's equal to the area of, so if you look here, it equals to the area of this whole square. Okay? If you want to find the side length, the opposite of square root. Okay? So your final step for this is to find the square root of 34 to find your side C. So also on your calculator, you should have a button that gives you the square root. Okay? It actually looks like this. Don't use the one that has 3. Don't use the one that has x. Just use the one that just looks like this. Alright? So find it on the calculator if you can't find it. So you have to write 34 and then you press that. Okay? It's probably the one that has 2.
2?
Yeah. Some calculator, they have the 2 in that square. Okay, so you're going to press that. Okay. So what is it? You got it? 5 points? 8.3. You guys got it? So it's this by C, but it's not by 2. It has a 2. That's fine. It has a 2. It's a square. That's why it's 2. There's 2. Okay. So the phone calculators, guys, have a 2. Okay. That's a square root. Okay. So it should be 5 point. Remind me, guys. 5.8. What's after the 8? 3. So because they want it to 1 decimal place, I have to keep it at 5.8. Okay? What if my answer was 5.87? 5.9. So you round up, right? To 5.9 because they want it to 1 decimal place. Okay? 8.7, that's closer to 9 than it is to 8. So I have to round. Anything over 5. Yeah, 5 or over. Right? All right. So again, in this case, I'm looking for two pieces of information. I'm looking for the angle at theta, and I'm looking for side, they call it y in this case. Okay, so let's start with finding angle theta. And what do I do?
So you add 59 with 90, subtract that by 180.
So I'm gonna have to subtract 180 minus 90 minus, or you can do whatever you said. Okay. So you do 180, take away 90, take away 59, and that's gonna give me what? Cool. Now, by the way, don't count on the pictures that I give you all the time, right? So even if like, let's say this angle looks, or this side looks bigger than the other side, don't count on how the picture looks like, okay? Because sometimes the picture is not to scale, okay? All right. Now, what else do I know? To find side y. Let's call them A, B, C. Where's my A? Where's my B? Where's my C? Okay. So, one second. My question is, where is side C? 7. Where is side A?
6.
And this is, we're going to call it side B. Okay? So I'm looking for B. What would be my formula? Yes? Correct. So because I'm looking for B, I have to use the C squared minus A squared. Okay? So remember, I have to pick one of these three formulas. Because I don't know what B is, then I'm going to have to use the C squared minus A squared formula. So let's plug in the information. So that's going to be 7 squared minus 6 squared. So that's going to be 49, take away 36. And that's going to be 13. My job is not done yet.
Find the square
Okay.
root of 13.
I have to find the square root. So what would be the square root of 13?
3.66.
3.6. Is there a number after it? Just
0.
0? Okay, so I have to keep it as 3.6. Okay. Now because these questions, they give me units, I technically should include the units in my answer. So this answer should be 3.6 centimeter, okay? And I missed that also in the top, so I have to include centimeter with my, I have to keep it with the same unit as the other two sides, okay? So make sure you include your units, right? So Pythagorean theorem, when you get the formulas, or when you, we do a whole unit in trigonometry, and then it includes the Pythagorean theorem. When you get the formulas, you only get the first formula, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, okay? You just have to make sure that you know how to isolate for the other ones, okay? All right, so you have a worksheet